Welcome everybody. Today we want to present you Carpool Mobility, one push away. Everything started when I had to hand over my car to my little brother at the beginning of the year because he finally got his driving license. And after a few weeks, I discovered that there are ways and routes that are nearly impossible to take without a car. And this very problem was also voted as the problem that we as a group want to solve. And this is what we will do with Carpool Mobility. So who are we? This you can see on the next slide. And what are we going to present? You will see that on the table of contents here. And now I suggest we dive into our goals, which we discovered by using the SMART framework. We want to provide mobility for everyone in a time-saving way, and we want to establish carpool mobility in the top 7 urban German cities. That's relevant because if we share today, we will have a better and more sustainable future. And we want to have a market entry in October 2022. With Carpool, we will make cars more affordable for everyone. Now let's dive into the business model canvas, and we'll start with the customer segments. As you can see in green, we have the first customer group because we are a multi-sided platform, which are the users that are city people who want to use a car but don't have the money for owning one or just don't want to own one. Now the other side, we have the suppliers who are car owners in the city and see their car more as a commodity than as a status symbol. For both of these groups, we have a different value proposition. For both of them, Carpool is a more convenient and more accessible way. For the users, it's that they get private mobility at just one click. They will also have a review system like Uber, for example, and in comparison, they will have a very low usage fee compared to, for example, car rentals. On the other hand, the suppliers are able to make a passive income just with their car. The resources, which are the cars here, are used instead of just wasted by parking somewhere. And of course, the car can be used just as much as it can be flexibly borrowed to anyone else. For our customer relations, we have a very self-service relation with our users and a personal assistance relation with our suppliers. We will distribute Carpool through word of mouth, social media, on-site partnerships, like with car dealers, and our mobile app. We will get a revenue from a share of each booking, from insurance commission, and also from the delivery to the front door of the cars. Now let's go to the back end side of the business model canvas, where we have at first our resources, which is of course the platform, the data management of the cars, the suppliers with their cars, of course, and also our personnel. We'll perform the following activities. We will match, of course, cars with demand. We will also be a mediator in case of any problems between the user groups. We will verify data and security because we don't want people without a driving license driving a car through Carpool. And we will have a black box installation, something like a chip that we can track the cars. And yeah, we will do that with our key partners, especially with insurance, but also with car dealers, with the car tracking companies who produce the chips, and filling station. And maybe we can also cooperate with politics that we will get free parking spaces. Finally, let's come to the cost structure, where we will have mobile app and the app hosting as one cost point. The personal cost, of course, is another, and also as a third factor, the external consultants. And now Jan will tell you more about the design thinking methods that we applied.
Yes, thank you, Lucas. I'll continue with the design thinking process. For the problem space, the problem that really started off our design thinking process is that for individuals that don't have access to a car, it can be very difficult to reach certain places safely and at a reasonable price. So taking public transport or taking cabs or taxis is not always the perfect solution. And this got us started thinking, and we started to observe. And we did this also through a questionnaire. And according to our questionnaire, so the results from the questionnaire, the average person uses their car for 1.46 hours per day, and the remaining time is unused. And this step by step helped us to define our point of view. Now, most of the time, cars are not being used, and renting a car or renting your car could create a massive opportunity for A, the supplier side, and B, the consumer side, and could also furthermore have a positive impact on the environment. And this is really where our brainstorming part began, and we came up with the idea to create a two-sided platform for car owners and car users to create value for both parties. And the value for the car owner is a monetary incentive in return for providing the vehicle, and the value for the car user side is created through being able to choose from a broad variety of vehicles and not having to invest in a car and having to pay the running costs. And for the prototype, in order to give our potential customers a first insight into our project, we created a website, including explanatory videos to really give the potential customer first real impression. And the idea was perceived extremely well, especially by the younger generation from both sides, so the supplier and the consumer side. And again, for suppliers, it's a way to generate returns on the vehicle, and for the users, it eases and adds to the means of transportation. And now, just briefly, the strategy we are pursuing, we definitely need to pursue a red ocean strategy due to already existing competition in the market in the form of Snapcar, Getaround, and Mercedes Me car sharing. And our strategy is that we want to beat the competition through extensive differentiation. Cost focus here is not applicable because Getaround has dumping prices. And we're talking differentiation in terms of high availability, an improvement in cars, an excellent customer service, but also the sustainability factor plays a huge role. And as the market already exists, we plan to exploit existing demand and redefine the cost-value trade-off.
Right, so first we take a look at the customer journey of the car user and then that of the car supplier. The x-axis shows the respective phases of the customer journey, from the awareness phase to the after-sales process. The y-axis shows the respective touch points, the customer's expectations, and the corresponding activities for each phase. During the awareness phase, touch points such as radio and TV advertising or online ads arise. Since the prospect is first getting to know the product, there is no further expectation. The activity of the customer consists in the perception of this advertisement. The company simply publishes the advertising and uses the various marketing channels. During the consideration phase, the customer uses the company's website or social media channels to find out more about the product. The expectations are a high quality of service and an easy to understand, plausible offer overview. Thus, the activities are the active perception of the offer and the associated gathering of information. In this phase, the company provides the information, offers opportunities to interact with the customer, and presents its own offer in the best possible way. During the decision phase, the touch points are the website or the respective app store where the customer actively decides on the offer and creates an account. The customer expects a smooth download and a good user experience, as well as a coherent in-app design. The activity that takes place is therefore the downloading of the app. The activity of the company again results from the server capacities to be provided. In addition, feedback should be obtained during checkout in order to be able to react quickly to possible errors. During the delivery phase, the touch points take place within the app. The customer sets up his own account and selects his preferred payment method. The expectations are quick and fast onboarding and a wide range of payment options. The activities are the setup of the account and the general onboarding. The company's activities are to provide and maintain the app and to enable smooth performance of its own software. During the after-sales process, any touch points take place on the website, via social media, or within the app. The customer expects fast response time to questions and complaints and wants first-class customer service, as well as expecting good app performance as in the previous phases. His activities are the regular use of the app and the eventual use of customer service. The company enables the service quality and also works on the constant further development of the app. The supplier's customer journey is very similar to that of the buyer. Only the expectations are different, since the supplier expects a further simple income stream and also goes through slightly different steps during onboarding. Thank you.
As a user persona, we have a student named Lisa. She's 21, single, and earns between 500 and 1,500 euros per month. She works as a waitress in a bar and on various events, and she's very active on social medias. She moved from the countryside to the city for her studies and cares a lot about the environment. But sometimes she needs a car to leave the city to meet her parents or to go on a weekend with friends. Lisa can only rent a car once a month because it's too expensive for her, and taking the public transports is too long. She cannot borrow a car that easily because her friends in the city don't have one, and her parents need the only car they have. She wants to use a car once or twice a week for a few hours or for the whole day, but needs a cheaper solution than traditional car renting. Paul is our supplier persona. He is a 32 years old engaged man and earns between 2,000 and 2,500 euros per month by being a project manager. Paul lives in the city. He also cares about the environment, and as he works a lot, he loves to go on short trips with his fiancée or to meet friends. Unfortunately, he has troubles financing his lifestyle because his car costs him a lot of money. He will need to make some extra money or have less costs. He took an extra work to afford activities with his friends and his fiancée, but he isn't satisfied with his work-life balance. So Paul would need a solution to generate money without losing his free time.
So how do we reach our customers? For the launch of our product, we would like to go public with a huge marketing campaign to kick off our business and generate visibility. So we will be using the following marketing channels: our own website, as mentioned before, social media and influencer marketing, as well as word of mouth. We choose to focus on social media and internet channels as the majority of our targeted customer base is quite active here. But since we also acknowledge that social media is more of a shallow and generalistic channel on the social media pyramid, we also add cooperations with specific platforms so that we can get a deeper and more detailed informative exchange. And for the 4 key points for the customer, we decided that our audience is comprised of young and grown-up people between 18 and 40, and the primary social networks we should focus on are Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and LinkedIn. The goal is to increase our follower base on all our social media to achieve higher visibility and attract more new customers. For the mission statement, we decided to use Facebook and Twitter for the more informative side of our brand, Instagram and Pinterest to promote the lifestyle and aesthetic aspect of the product, and LinkedIn as a more professional platform to promote cooperations or get in touch with new investors. And the website will be a combination of all of the above. For strategy, we want to post 1 contribution every week on each platform to stay in touch with our audience on a regular basis.
So next we're going to discuss the costs that are going to be involved with the company. So first of all, we found the main costing activities in the company, which are payroll, IT infrastructure, marketing, office space, and administration. And on the next slide, we're going to see how much these costs take up in the company. So we can see that office space is going to account for about 10% of all the costs, administration 5%, which has to do with all the licensing of websites, etc. Next, we have payroll, where we plan to have 4 employees working for us, and then 4 founders that will not be paid at the beginning. Next, we have IT infrastructure, which are the costs that have to do with developing the app and the website. And next, we have marketing, which is about advertising the company through Instagram or any social media and anything that has to do with promoting the company. On the right, we can see a profit and loss, where we estimated how much our costs are going to be each month and when we would start to make revenues. And so we estimated that in around the second quarter of 2024, we would start to see some profits, and that's when we start to break even.
So after testing our assumptions, we came to the conclusion that the overall judgment is very positive and people really like our product, which is why we decided to get it started. And for more information, please feel free to take a look at the appendix. Thank you very much for your attention, and let's share today for a better tomorrow.